At the beginning of the story, we meet a gentle young man named Tae-sik. After many years, he is finally returning home. During the journey, he takes out a small notebook and reads a list of promises he made to himself. From now on, he will never drink alcohol, never get into fights, and never cry again. A little later, Tae-sik arrives at a small restaurant and quietly waits inside. A young woman standing there does not know who he is. However, Tae-sik has actually come to meet her mother. Since her mother is not home yet, she tells him to visit the public bathhouse and freshen up before coming back. Tae-sik agrees and heads to the bathhouse. Once there, he pulls out his notebook again. One of the items on his list was to visit a public bathhouse. Smiling to himself, he crosses it off. The bathhouse owner notices Tae-sik's shy and innocent behavior and starts giving him unwanted advice. Tae-sik simply listens without saying much. But when he begins changing clothes, the owner's attitude changes instantly. Tae-sik's entire body is covered with gangster-style tattoos, revealing a very different side to him. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a gangster named Chang-moo is shown bullying and intimidating local young men for fun. Suddenly, he hears someone calling him from behind. He turns around with his usual confidence, but the moment he sees Tae-sik, everything changes. His tough attitude disappears, and he starts talking to Tae-sik with unexpected respect. Tae-sik has only come to see him one last time. After their meeting, he leaves and visits another powerful gangster named Yang Ki. Together, Yang Ki and Chang-moo control the city, yet even they become nervous and respectful in front of Tae-sik. After meeting both men, Tae-sik returns to the restaurant. The young woman is still waiting there. As soon as she sees him, she quickly calls her mother, unaware of the mysterious past hidden behind this quiet and polite man. When Tae-sik's mother finally sees him, she immediately runs toward him and hugs him warmly. She treats him like her own son and cannot hide her happiness. Soon, she prepares a huge meal and personally feeds him with great care and affection. Meanwhile, her daughter, Hee-ju, is completely confused. She cannot understand why her mother is showing so much love to a stranger. Curious and annoyed, she later takes Tae-sik to the rooftop and warns him that as long as he stays in their house, he will have to do all the chores, cleaning, sweeping, and every other household task. Surprisingly, Tae-sik does not complain at all. Like an obedient child, he quietly agrees to everything Hee-ju says. The next morning, Tae-sik visits the police station. As part of his release conditions, he is required to report there and sign in every day. While he's there, a police officer takes him aside and advises him to leave the city as soon as possible. According to the officer, Tae-sik has made too many enemies in the past, and staying here could be dangerous.
At the same time, the woman Tae-sik calls mother confronts a man named Panso. Panso has been trying to take control of her restaurant by force. However, she firmly warns him that no matter what happens, she will never sell the restaurant. After making her position clear, she leaves. Later, Tae-sik visits a hospital and asks a doctor if the tattoos covering his body can be removed. The doctor explains that removing so many tattoos will be a long and expensive process. Unfortunately, Tae-sik does not have enough money to afford the treatment. The following day, the same police officer who told Tae-sik to leave the city discovers that he has started working at a local garage instead. News of this quickly reaches Yang Ki, one of the city's most powerful gangsters. Even Yang Ki finds it hard to believe that Tae-sik wants to erase his tattoos and live a normal life while working an ordinary job. As everyone struggles to understand his sudden change, the police officer who saw Tae-sik at the garage begins telling his partner a story about the man Tae-sik used to be. The officer then reveals Tae-sik's past. 10 years ago, Tae-sik was the most feared gangster in the entire city. He ruled the streets with absolute authority, and even Chang-moo and Yang Ki, who now control the city, used to follow him around and do whatever he said. One day, a group of gangsters ambushed Tae-sik when he was alone. They thought they could finally take him down. However, the moment the fight started, everything went wrong for them. Tae-sik overwhelmed them with terrifying strength, defeating them one after another. Not a single man was able to stand against him. But that incident changed his life forever. Because so many people lost their lives during the conflict, Tae-sik was sentenced to 10 years in prison. After his imprisonment, everyone expected either Chang-moo or Yang Ki to take control of the city. Instead, a man named Panso, the same person trying to seize his mother's restaurant, rose to power and took over the streets. That is why the police officer cannot believe what he is seeing now. The man who once ruled the city is working quietly in a small garage. Wanting to know more, the officer visits the garage owner. To his surprise, the owner has nothing but good things to say about Tae-sik. He explains that Tae-sik has changed completely. He works hard, follows instructions, and never causes trouble. It's almost impossible to believe that he was once the city's most feared gangster. Later that day, Hee-ju finishes her classes and walks out of college. There, she notices Tae-sik standing near the admissions center. Curious, she immediately approaches him and asks what he is doing there. Tae-sik calmly tells her that he has come to apply for college admission. The answer catches Hee-ju completely off guard. She cannot help laughing at the idea of a former gangster becoming a college student. Afterward, the two begin walking home together. On the way, Hee-ju suddenly stops in front of an electronics store. She stares through the glass at a smartphone on display. For days, she has been dreaming of buying a new phone, but it is still out of her reach. Unfortunately, Hee-ju cannot afford the smartphone she wants. Seeing her staring at it, Tae-sik asks what makes the device so special. Having spent the last 10 years in prison, he knows almost nothing about modern smartphones. As Hee-ju starts explaining its features, Tae-sik becomes confused. Some of the things she says sound so unbelievable to him that he thinks she is making fun of him. This only makes Hee-ju laugh even more. Later, the two stop at a small roadside food stall to grab something to eat. However, a boy from Hee-ju's class spots her. He has liked Hee-ju for a long time and immediately becomes jealous when he sees her with Tae-sik. Without thinking, he rushes over, kicks Tae-sik, and pulls him away from Hee-ju. He then drags Tae-sik to a quiet area and starts beating him up. Hee-ju desperately tries to stop the fight, but some girls hold her back and prevent her from interfering. The boy is convinced that Tae-sik is trying to steal Hee-ju away from him. Fueled by anger, he calls his friends over, and together they begin attacking Tae-sik. Even while being beaten, Tae-sik refuses to fight back. But during the struggle, his shirt is torn open. The students suddenly notice the countless tattoos covering his body. Instantly, their confidence disappears. Those tattoos look like the marks of a dangerous gangster, and the group quickly backs away in fear. Despite all the injuries, Tae-sik quietly takes Hee-ju home without causing any trouble. Back at the house, Hee-ju brings medicine and helps treat his wounds. She also asks him not to tell her mother about what happened because she doesn't want her to worry unnecessarily. Meanwhile, Panso and Yang Ki are celebrating Panso's victory in a local council election. During the party, Chang-moo also arrives. Panso proudly talks about his next big project, building the Oracle Club, which is expected to become the largest club in the entire city. However, there is one major obstacle standing in his way: the Sunflower Restaurant, the very restaurant owned by the woman Tae-sik considers his mother. Panso orders Chang-moo and Yang Ki to get the restaurant cleared out. Hearing this, Chang-moo immediately agrees. He has no idea how important that place is to Tae-sik. Yang Ki, on the other hand, knows the truth. Realizing what could happen if Tae-sik becomes involved, he remains silent and allows Chang-moo to handle the situation on his own. The next day, Chang-moo wastes no time. He gathers his men and heads straight to the Sunflower Restaurant. Staying outside, he orders his gang to go in and force the owners to leave. What he doesn't know is that Tae-sik is already inside. The moment Chang-moo sees him, his face changes. He immediately tells his men to stop. Tae-sik walks toward him and grabs him by the throat. For a few tense seconds, nobody dares to move.
Then Tae-sik's mother suddenly shouts at him from behind and tells him to let go. Without hesitation, Tae-sik obeys. He releases Chang-moo and steps back. Terrified, Chang-moo quickly gathers his men and leaves the restaurant. After they are gone, Tae-sik asks his mother why those gangsters came there. However, she hides the truth and refuses to tell him anything about Panso. Meanwhile, Chang-moo goes directly to Yang Ki. He is upset that Yang Ki knew Tae-sik had returned, but never warned him. Yang Ki, however, believes that Tae-sik would not come back to the city after 10 years without a reason. Chang-moo is not too worried. He thinks Tae-sik would never harm them because they used to be close friends. But Yang Ki asks him a simple question: how many times did you visit Tae-sik while he was in prison? Yang Ki admits that he visited him 5 times over the last 10 years. Chang-moo, however, cannot even answer. He never visited Tae-sik once. At the same time, Panso notices that the Sunflower Restaurant is still standing exactly where it was. His plan has clearly failed. That is when his driver, Byung-jin, like Chang-moo and Yang Ki, was once a close friend of Tae-sik's, informs Panso that the legendary gangster who ruled the city 10 years ago has returned. Panso is shocked by the news. Realizing how dangerous the situation could become, he orders Chang-moo and Yang Ki to keep a close watch on Tae-sik's every move. Later that night, Tae-sik returns home after work carrying a small gift box. It's a special day because he has just received his first paycheck. He hands the box to his mother. When she opens it, she finds a beautiful pair of shoes inside. Instantly, her eyes fill with tears. She is deeply touched that Tae-sik spent his hard-earned money on her. A little later, Hee-ju is standing alone on the rooftop, quietly talking to herself. Tae-sik walks up to her with another gift. Curious, Hee-ju opens it. To her complete surprise, it is the very smartphone she has been dreaming of buying for so long. For a moment, she is left speechless. After giving the gifts, Tae-sik takes out his small notebook once again. He smiles and crosses out another goal from the list: buy a gift for mother and Hee-ju. The next morning, Hee-ju is playing around with her new smartphone and recording Tae-sik. While doing so, she notices the little notebook sticking out of his pocket. Curious, she grabs it and starts reading. Inside, she finds a list of promises and goals written in a simple way: never drink again, never cry again, stay out of trouble. Seeing these childish-looking notes, Hee-ju cannot stop laughing. But as she keeps reading, she notices another item on the list: go on a picnic with family. Without telling Tae-sik, she quietly crosses it off herself. The following day, the three of them travel to a peaceful spot surrounded by nature and spend the day together. For the first time in years, Tae-sik experiences something that feels like a real family picnic. They eat, laugh, and enjoy the calm atmosphere together. Later that night, Byung-jin, Panso's driver, waits outside the Sunflower Restaurant. When Tae-sik comes outside and sees him, he immediately recognizes his old friend.
Unlike Chang-moo and Yang Ki,
Byungjin has not come to hide anything. He tells Taesik the truth. He explains that Panso is trying to force the Sunflower restaurant out of business because he wants the land for his own project. He also reveals that Taesik's mother has been keeping this secret from him. She knows how hard he has worked to leave his violent past behind and does not want him getting involved in another fight. The next morning, Taesik leaves for work as usual. Taking advantage of his absence, Chang-moo arrives at the Sunflower restaurant with several gang members. He threatens Taesik's mother and demands that she shut down the restaurant, but she refuses to back down. When she boldly rejects his demands, Chang-moo's men begin smashing tables, damaging property, and destroying everything they can inside the restaurant. At that very moment, Hee-ju returns from school. The second she sees Chang-moo and his gang causing trouble, she realizes something is terribly wrong. Without wasting a second, she runs to find Taesik and tells him what is happening. However, by the time Taesik rushes back toward the restaurant, the situation has already started spiraling out of control. By the time Taesik returns to the Sunflower restaurant, Chang-moo and his gang are already gone. The restaurant has been completely trashed, with broken furniture and damaged property scattered everywhere. Seeing that there is no longer any point in hiding the truth, Mother finally tells Taesik everything about Panso and his plan to take over the restaurant. The next morning, Taesik goes directly to meet Panso. Calmly, he tells him that 10 years ago he made a promise to someone important, a promise that he would never fight again. Then he says he hopes Panso will help him keep that promise. The words sound polite, but everyone in the room understands the real meaning behind them. It is a warning. As soon as Taesik leaves, Panso decides to take action. He knows that almost everyone in the city is afraid of Taesik, so defeating him directly is not an option. Instead, he comes up with a different plan. Force Taesik into a fight and send him back to prison. While Taesik is working at the garage, Panso sends several gangsters to attack him. At the same time, he secretly informs a police officer and tells him to arrest Taesik the moment he fights back. Everything is set up perfectly. The gangsters arrive and start beating Taesik. A police car waits nearby, watching the entire situation, but Panso's plan quickly falls apart. No matter how badly he is hit, Taesik refuses to throw a single punch. He silently endures the beating and never fights back. With no crime committed, the police have no reason to arrest him. For the second time, Panso's plan fails. That night, the same student who has been chasing Hee-ju comes to the Sunflower restaurant. Taesik is there as well. The boy has come because he recently discovered a secret only Taesik and the woman he calls mother know. In front of everyone, he reveals the shocking truth. Taesik is actually not her son. 10 years ago, Taesik was responsible for the death of her real son. The incident was the very reason he was sent to prison for 10 years. The restaurant suddenly falls silent. Just then, Hee-ju arrives. She hears every word. As the truth sinks in, she is completely stunned. The quiet, kind man she has slowly started trusting is actually the person who took her brother's life. For a moment, she cannot believe what she has just heard. Only one question keeps running through Hee-ju's mind. How could her mother accept the man who killed her son and treat him like family? A short time later, Mother finally tells Hee-ju the whole truth.
Yes, it was true that Taesik had killed her son 10 years ago, but her son was far from innocent. When Hee-ju was still a child, he would often abuse his own mother and hurt her over money. After learning who was responsible for her son's death, Mother visited the prison to see him with her own eyes. There, she met Taesik for the first time. What she saw surprised her. Taesik was filled with guilt and regret. The more she spoke with him, the more she realized that although he had taken her son's life, he was not an evil person at heart. In fact, the small notebook Taesik always carried had been a gift from her. For 10 long years, Taesik wrote down every dream, promise, and goal he wanted to achieve once he was released from prison. That notebook became a symbol of the new life he hoped to build. The next day, Mother goes to meet Panso once again. This time, however, she brings up a secret from 10 years ago. According to her, Panso was the one who sent her son to confront Taesik in the first place. His plan was simple and cruel. If the two fought, one of them would die, while the other would end up in prison. Either way, Panso would be free to take control of the Sunflower restaurant without any opposition. She discovered this truth through her son's old diary, and if that diary were ever made public, Panso's entire political career could be destroyed. Mother then offers him a deal. If Panso agrees to leave her and Taesik alone forever, she will make sure the diary never reaches the public. As soon as she leaves, Byungjin becomes worried. He knows Panso well enough to understand that such a threat will only make him more dangerous. Fearing that Mother could be harmed, he immediately calls Taesik and tells him everything. Without wasting any time, Taesik heads straight to Panso, but he does not go there to fight. Instead, he makes a sacrifice. Taesik tells Panso that he is willing to leave the city forever with Mother and Hee-ju. He promises that they will disappear and never interfere with his plans again. All he asks in return is that Mother remains safe. Panso could have accepted the offer right there. However, he does not trust Taesik. To guarantee that Taesik can never become a threat again, Panso makes a horrible
terrifying demand. Before leaving the city, Tae-sik must give up one of his hands. Panso wants to make sure that the legendary gangster who once ruled the city will never be capable of fighting again. And now, Tae-sik is forced to face an impossible choice. For the sake of his mother, Tae-sik agrees to Panso's cruel demand. Byung-jin is ordered to damage Tae-sik's right hand. In front of everyone, it appears as if the nerves in his hand have been severed, leaving him unable to use it ever again. However, before Tae-sik leaves, Byung-jin quietly reveals the truth. He never actually cut the nerve. Tae-sik's hand is still perfectly functional. The next day, Hee-ju is crossing the street on her way to school when a boy suddenly attacks her. It's the same student who had been obsessing over her for a long time. The blow is so powerful that Hee-ju collapses unconscious on the spot. As soon as Tae-sik hears the news, he rushes to the hospital. Her injuries are serious, so he stays by her bedside throughout the night, refusing to leave. But while Tae-sik is at the hospital, his mother is left alone at home. Even after forcing Tae-sik to sacrifice his hand, Panso is not satisfied. Wanting to eliminate every obstacle, he sends Yang-ki to deal with her. Taking advantage of Tae-sik's absence, Yang-ki enters the house and murders her. Afterward, he uses her thumbprint to transfer ownership of the Sunflower restaurant to Panso. Hours later, Tae-sik finally returns home. Standing outside, he calls for his mother.
No answer comes back. A strange feeling fills his chest as he slowly opens the door. Inside, he finds her hanging from a rope. Tae-sik rushes forward and brings her down, but it is already too late. She is gone. The woman who gave him a second chance at life. The woman who helped transform him from a feared gangster into a better man. The only person he truly considered family has been taken away from him forever. Everyone, including Tae-sik, initially believes that she took her own life. After all, that is exactly how the scene appears. He has no idea what really happened before he arrived. Later, Tae-sik returns to the house one final time. While looking around, his eyes fall on the pair of shoes he had bought for his mother with his first paycheck. Near them, he notices something unusual, an earring. It belongs to Yang-ki. The moment Tae-sik sees it, the truth becomes clear. His mother's death was not a suicide, it was murder. Before taking any action, Tae-sik visits Hee-ju at the hospital. She has finally regained consciousness. The first thing she asks is, "Where is mom?" For a few seconds, Tae-sik cannot answer. Then he lies. He tells her that her mother is at home waiting for her. After leaving the hospital, Tae-sik does something he promised never to do again. He buys bottle after bottle of alcohol and drinks them all. 10 years ago, whenever Tae-sik drank, nobody could stop him. That was why he had written "Never Drink Again" in his notebook. It was a promise he made for the woman who saved him. But now, the person he made all those promises for is gone. The dreams, the goals, the peaceful life he wanted, all of it has been shattered. Meanwhile, Panso, Yang-ki, Chang-mu, and their gangsters gather inside the newly opened Oracle Club to celebrate their success. Music fills the building. Drinks are raised. Everyone believes they have won. Then, in the middle of the celebration, an unsettling sound echoes through the club. Someone is crying. The laughter slowly fades, and as the sound grows louder, a feeling of fear begins spreading through the room. That crying voice belongs to Tae-sik. The moment he walks into the Oracle Club, everyone falls silent. Yang-ki and Chang-mu quickly recover and start mocking him. They believe his right hand is permanently damaged and that he is no longer a threat. Without saying a word, Tae-sik throws Yang-ki's earring onto the floor. The room instantly grows tense. Then, Tae-sik turns to Byung-jin and tells him to leave. He has no intention of hurting his old friend. Understanding what is about to happen, Byung-jin quietly walks away. Tae-sik's first question is simple. Who attacked Hee-ju? The boy responsible for her injuries is also at the club. Thinking Tae-sik is helpless, he confidently steps forward and admits what he did. But his confidence does not last long. In a single moment, Tae-sik punishes him for his actions. After that, Tae-sik sets the club's main entrance on fire, trapping everyone inside. Panic spreads throughout the building as the flames begin to rise. What follows is pure chaos. Tae-sik has become like a wounded lion with nothing left to lose. The peaceful man who spent 10 years trying to change himself is gone. One by one, the gangsters rush towards him, but none of them can stop him. Fear quickly replaces their confidence as they realize who they are truly facing. The legendary gangster they once feared has returned. Men who once acted fearless now back away in terror. Even Chang-mu and Yang-ki cannot stand against him for long. Their power, status, and influence mean nothing in front of Tae-sik's fury. Finally, only Panso remains, the man who started everything, the man whose greed destroyed countless lives. Terrified,
Panso tries to run, but there is nowhere left to escape. The burning club has become a prison. In the end, Tae-sik catches up to him and makes him face the consequences of everything he has done. As flames consume the Oracle Club, Tae-sik's long journey comes to an end. The man who wanted nothing more than a peaceful life lost the family he cared most about, and in his grief, he returned to the violent world he had tried so hard to leave behind. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed this movie recap, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing movie explanations.